Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've been following the recent action, you know this match was an absolute masterclass in offensive momentum. Today, we're going to break down Japan's high-octane 4-0 victory over Tunisia. We'll dive deep into the key match highlights, dissecting the exact team formations, the crucial defensive shifts, and the gap exploitation that allowed Japan to completely dismantle the Tunisian defense. You're going to see the specific tactical decisions, the precise individual brilliance, and the relentless pressure that led to this massive blowout victory. Let's get right into it.
First, let's anchor ourselves in history for a second. 1000. This wasn't just any regular fixture in Monterrey. This was officially the 1000 FIFA World Cup game. That is a massive, massive milestone. When you step onto the pitch for a game with that kind of historical weight attached to it, well, the pressure is immense. The question always is, who's going to rise to the occasion and make history, and who's going to fold? As we're about to see, one team answered that question pretty emphatically.
Section 1, a historic milestone match. Monterrey sets the stage.
Right out of the gate, the opening tension was immediate. Tunisia came out swinging, launching an offensive attempt from distance to really test the keeper, forcing Zan Suzuki to fully stretch to make the stop. It was a clear statement of intent. But instead of dropping into a low defensive block to just absorb that pressure, Japan responded with a rapid tactical shift. They used immediate counter-aggression to push and fashion a chance of their own. This immediate transition from defense to attack, that's the exact tactical theme that would define the rest of the match.
Moving on to Section 2, Nakamura forces the breakthrough for the opening goal.
You gotta love the sheer patience in this sequence. It's a literal tactical masterclass. First up, Nakamura hesitates for just a single second. In a totally chaotic box, that tiny hesitation pulls defenders right out of their formation, creating a vital gap. Second, he steps into that newly found space. And finally, with the defense compromised and the lines broken, the ball is forced over the line. It's just a calculated, methodical breakdown of the defense.
And man, the payoff was instant. As the broadcast echoed, Japan lead through Dai Kanada. Nakamura's calculated hesitation created the perfect gap, and Dai Kanada expertly exploited it to snatch that early lead. You could literally feel the momentum shift at this exact moment.
That brings us to Section 3, relentless Japanese offensive pressure, pushing for a second.
Japan's approach was completely uncompromising. Riding the high of that excellent start, they absolutely refused to fall back into a defensive formation. Instead, they maintained a high line, immediately going on the hunt for a second goal and setting up a highly dangerous lob right into the box to exploit Tunisia's broken composure. They saw the vulnerability and just applied maximum pressure.
Tunisia, however, was fighting back hard. With the ball fizzing through the box, it looked like a guaranteed goal until... What a save excellent from Dar, who is so responsive. Dar's sheer reflexes briefly kept Tunisia's hopes alive against the onslaught, managing an incredible stop right at the critical moment.
You're really seeing a massive clash of momentum here. On one side, you have Japan's tactical, proactive offense, aggressively forcing the issue, exploiting gaps, and fizzing the ball through the dangerous areas of the box. On the flip side, Tunisia is basically reduced to reactive survival, desperately relying on Dar's highly responsive saves to prevent an early blowout.
Section 4, Tanaka's spectacular distance strike, a stunning solo effort.
Talk about supreme individual confidence. The attacker has options ahead of him, and options all around him. The standard tactical play here is obviously to pass and build up through the lines, but instead, he reads the defensive block perfectly, bypasses the build-up entirely, and decides to take the shot himself. It requires an incredible understanding of the game to know that taking the shot is the highest percentage play, even when your teammates are wide open.
And it paid off beautifully. The commentator's explosive reaction literally says it all. What a strike that is. A Tanaka. A spectacular distance effort that completely overwhelmed the defense. This is exactly what happens when individual talent perfectly aligns with total team confidence.
Section 5. Ito drives the attack. The pressure continues to mount.
Now, Tunisia desperately tried to find a way back, with Tekti even getting a decent chance back over the top. But Japan, their defensive shift was instantaneous. They shut down the space, reclaimed the momentum, and immediately recycled the ball into another blistering quick offensive transition. They simply refused to let Tunisia hold on to the ball or find any sort of rhythm.
The resulting drive was just systematic offensive football. First, Junior Ito takes over, driving forward and forcing the Tunisian defense to collapse inward. That specific movement creates a massive structural opportunity in the final third. Then, Sugri reads the shifting defense perfectly, lifting the ball up into the danger zone right where the defenders used to be.
And the finish was flawless. As it was described, it floats into the back of the net after being put on a plate. When a pass perfectly bypasses the defensive lines to serve a score on a plate like that, you lock in a guaranteed goal. The passing was so precise, the defense had absolutely zero chance to recover.
Which leads us to Section 6, a dominant final scoreline, 4 goals and a clean sheet.
Looking at the flow of the game chronologically, Japan masterfully compounded their momentum. In the early minutes, Dai Canada forces the breakthrough after Nakamura's brilliant setup. In the middle minutes, a Tanaka hits that spectacular distance strike. And late in the game, Junior Kito's relentless drive sets up the final floated goal. It wasn't just a random burst of energy. It was sustained, methodical, tactical dominance over the entire 90 minutes.
The individual standouts today were just staggering. Nakamura's patience finding space, Dai Kananada's clinical opening goal, Atanaga's bold solo strike, and Juniorito's relentless playmaking driving forward, they all perfectly executed the tactical game plan. And we absolutely have to give a nod to Tunisia's Dar, whose responsive saving prevented an even more lopsided result.
Which brings us to the undeniable result in Monterrey. 4 goals for Japan and a flawless 0 for Tunisia. A clean sheet against an aggressive team is a massive tactical victory. It's a testament to perfect defensive shape, disciplined shifting, and absolute control of the pitch.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final question to ponder. After completely dismantling Tunisia with a flawless 4-0 victory in the historic 1000th World Cup game, just how unstoppable is this Japanese squad's offensive momentum going forward? If they can systematically exploit gaps, execute rapid offensive transitions, and shift defensively with this level of absolute confidence, the rest of the world needs to be paying very, very close attention.